Most companies evaluating AI tools hit the same wall. The best models live on someone else's servers. Every query your team sends is billable, logged, and subject to a third party's terms of service. For teams in regulated industries, or anyone handling sensitive internal data, that's a real problem. FOSSonCloud is by the AWS technology consulting firm Ordinary Experts. Here at FOSSonCloud, we built a pattern that solves these issues in one CloudFormation deploy. You get a private, GPU-accelerated AI platform with a full chat interface, OpenAI-compatible API, and your data never leaving your AWS account, all up and running in about 20 minutes. The pattern deploys OpenWebUI, a polished, self-hosted chat interface your whole team can use. It's backed by VLLM running an open-source model on a GPU instance. Think of it as ChatGPT running in your AWS account, with an OpenAI-compatible API your developers can point any existing tool at. FOSSonCloud has packaged all the AWS infrastructure, including the load balancer, SSL, auto-scaling, logging, and secrets management, into a single template. One CloudFormation deploy, and it's all wired together automatically. This video will show you how to set it up. Before we deploy, there are 3 things you need to have in place. First, request your GPU quota. In the AWS console, search for Service Quotas and open it. Go to AWS Services and search for Amazon EC2. Once there, search for Running On-Demand G and VT instances. Ensure the applied account level quota value is at least 4 and request an increase if not. Second, get an SSL certificate. Go to Certificate Manager in the AWS console. If you already have a certificate, copy the ARN value for when we deploy the stack. If not, request a new certificate and ensure the domain is created in Route 53. Finally, subscribe to the OpenWebUI product in the AWS Marketplace. This will load a CloudFormation stack in AWS. Once it does, there are some parameters you need to configure. Let's walk through the parameters. Start with the stack name. Give it something you'll recognize. I'm using OpenWebUI demo. Next, the model. FOSSonCloud has pre-tested a set of models confirmed to work with this pattern, including Qwen, Microsoft Phi, and NVIDIA Nematron. For this demo, we're going with Qwen 3. There's also a model override field if you want to swap in something different down the line. Certificate ARN. Paste in the certificate ARN you copied from ACM in the previous step. Ingress CIDR controls who can actually reach your deployment over the internet. For production, you'd lock this down to your company's IP range. For this demo, I'm using 0.0.0.0, which is open to everyone. Instance type is the GPU server size. The right choice here depends on which model you're running. Bigger models need bigger instances. Check the FOSSonCloud documentation for the full sizing guide. Then the 2 DNS fields. DNS Route 53 hosted zone name is just your root domain, the hosted zone that already exists in Route 53. For us, that's dev.patterns.ordinaryexperts.com. And DNS hostname is the full URL your deployment will be accessible at. So OpenWebUI demo plus the zone name gives us openwebuidemo.dev.patterns.ordinaryexperts.com. Everything else stays default. The stack will take about 20 to 30 minutes to fully create. Once the stack is complete, go to the Outputs tab and open up the DNS site URL output in the new tab. Here's the running site, and the first visit will prompt you to create an admin account. Once that's done, this is your private AI workspace. Your team can log in here, your developers can build against it, and none of it will leave your AWS account. Let's make sure it's working. Start a new chat and confirm the Qwen model is selected at the top before you ask it something. Great, it thinks for a moment about it and then responds with an explanation and the actual code, along with an example usage. Now let's get an API key so your tools can connect to this programmatically. Go to Settings, then Account, And if you don't see API keys as an option, then we need to enable it in admin settings. In admin settings, under the Authentication tab, scroll down and you should see Enable API Keys. Click Enable, then save the changes. Now you can return to Settings, Account, and you should see an API Keys option. Open it up and create a new secret key. Copy the key and click Save. The full documentation for connecting coding agents is in the README file of the GitHub for the Open WebUI pattern. The deployment exposes 2 API paths depending on your tool. HTTPS, your hostname / API for OpenWebUI's native endpoint. This is what opencode, Aider, and most OpenAI SDKs use. Your hostname / API / v1, same backend OpenAI spec path. Use this if your tool auto-appends /v1. Today we'll be connecting opencode, but you can also connect Aider or any tool that supports an OpenAI-compatible base URL. For opencode, we'll need a custom provider config file because environment variables alone aren't enough. To create it, open your terminal and ensure you have opencode installed. Then create the config opencode JSON file. Once this file is created, return to the GitHub and the code for the file is under the opencode section here. Copy the code and paste it into the config file. Under host URL, make sure it has the actual deployment URL plus /API. And under API key, paste the API key that you copied earlier. Save the file, then return to the README and copy this command to run in the terminal to launch opencode with your model. Opencode is now running against your private deployment. Same experience using it with a commercial API, except the model is running on your GPU in your account. That's the full setup. Private AI platform on AWS, live GPU inference, OpenAI-compatible API connected to opencode, deployed in a single CloudFormation template. And if you run into any issues, every FOSSonCloud deployment includes a free 1-hour onboarding Zoom session. Our team will walk you through your specific setup, answer questions, and get you running. Ongoing email support with a 2-business day response time is included as well. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to working with you.